Well, one of the secrets about our Bill of Rights, a lot of people don't know, is that it has a preamble, and it explains why they created a Bill of Rights so quickly after the creation of the United States Constitution. It was a deal. It was a deal made with the anti-federalists, those that fought in the Revolutionary War, some of the prominent founding fathers that said, no, we're not comfortable with this creation of a central authority that would evolve, in their estimation, as a supreme power over the states, when in fact the Constitution and federal government was a creation of the states, state sovereignty. Well, they wanted to have it specified that the purpose of government, as defined in the Declaration of Independence, that we sparked the revolution that we won. And they're going, look, what was the primary directive for government? That it protect individual rights. If it didn't, it was time to alter or abolish. Well, they could see that it was going to need to be abolished before it even got started. So what they did is they said, look, if you're going to have a central authority that's going to have the ability of eminent domain to take people's property, the power to tax, the power to regulate commerce, where in there are the limits of those powers? Where does it say what government can't do? Well, here comes the Bill of Rights. It was an agreement with the anti-federalists of the day that predicted dire things for this country if there was not the understanding that the purpose of government was the defense of individual rights, and they wanted it specified. 12 amendments were submitted to the states for ratification, immediately as part of and right after the United States Constitution was created. So what they did is they sent 12. The two that were not ratified were the ability of congressmen to give themselves pay raises while they were in office, and that eventually became the 27th Amendment to the Constitution. The other one was the representation, an increase in size of Congress depending on the population of the United States. They didn't do that, and I guess they foresaw that we'd have such a large population that there'd be too many congressmen. Okay, well, yeah, it's to be debated whether we should do that or not. But the 10 amendments that were ratified were the protection of individual rights to think, to worship, to speak, to share, and the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment in case the Bill of Rights didn't do a good job. Now, there are many other individual rights protections in there, due process under law, not cruel and unusual punishment. How and under what circumstances can they take my property? Well, that's a controversial one. But I'm here to read the preamble so that you understand that they understood what they were doing and why. How the Bill of Rights is holding up now under federal pressure to take all power away from the individual is a whole nother debate. And I'm glad to see that mybillofrights.org is doing what it can to emphasize the Bill of Rights. Nowhere in the country, up until the mybillofrights.org started their campaign, was there a monument to the Bill of Rights. Amazing. Well, I'm glad they're making this effort. I'm going to read to you the preamble to the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution is ratified by the states. December 15th, 1791. Preamble. Congress of the United States begun and held at the city of New York on Wednesday, the 4th of March, 1789. The conventions of a number of the states, having at the time of their adopting the Constitution expressed a desire, in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers, that further declaratory and restrictive clauses should be added, and as extending the ground of public confidence in the government will best ensure the beneficent ends of its institution. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, 2/3 of both houses concurring, that the following articles be proposed to the legislatures of the several states as amendments to the Constitution of the United States, all or any of which articles, when ratified by 3/4 of the said legislatures, to be valid to all intents and purposes as part of the said Constitution. Articles. In addition to and amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America proposed by Congress and ratified by the legislatures of the several states, pursuant to the 5th article of the original Constitution. There was a provision in the U.S. Constitution for it being amended. And they did it because they needed to. There were many people that understood on the horizon, if you give central power the ability to rule you and you don't specify what they can't do, they'll do it. The Bill of Rights has served us a long time.